Hi friends, welcome back. So I want to chat with you today about how to be successful in today's modern world. And we're going to use the example of Mr. Musk to get started in our discussion because I think it's a good example. And this is him in his Twitter, joined 2009, 181 million followers. And he tweeted out something just an hour ago, which really caught my attention. This is sort of why I'm chatting with you. So you can see this here 1 hour ago. Model Y starts at 29,490. And it's got a really attractive, picture here. It's got the nice logo, etc. And I can see an attractive price point, 29,490 for a Model Y. That's fantastic. And this photo, this advertisement, this thing that Musk tweeted out really represents our modern world. And can you see sort of the issue here? And before we answer that question, I was thinking about this. There's two ways to be successful in today's modern world. So A, get good at fooling people. Or B, get good at not being fooled. And now I want to ask you this question: which route or which strategy does Mr. Musk use? Let me show you the thing he tweeted out again. He says, Model Y starts at 29,490, right? Really attractive advertisement. However, read the fine print. It says, after U.S. federal tax credit and estimated gas savings. So we're misrepresenting things a bit here. Also, too, this is Tesla's website. Their website, right? Their official website's live page. Model Y from 29,490 with an asterisk. Right? You can see the asterisk right there. And if you read the fine print, it says after a federal tax credit and estimated gas savings. And if you read down even below, here it says, here's the asterisk. Price before incentives is 42,990. I see it right there. Excluding taxes and fees, which are subject to change. I hope you guys see what's going on here and why I'm using this as an example of sort of how to be successful in today's modern world. Again, you have two routes that you could choose. A, get good at fooling people. And I would argue Mr. Musk is really good at that. I clicked on this right away. I was like, hey, what the heck? Are they doing price cuts? That looks pretty good, right? That's a very attractive price point. Or B, get good at not being fooled. And for me, I look up everything, and I encourage you to do so as well. Also do hang out in this channel, in this community, because we essentially try to check things together because the world is so filled with this kind of stuff, this frankly deceiving things, that it takes a team to try to decipher this, because they have a team over at Tesla that's basically trying to fool you every day. And it's sad that they do this. I'd like to hear your comments though. Is Tesla the only company that does this kind of thing? I'm just being fair. Are there other companies that pull this deceptive marketing? In my opinion, this is highly, highly deceptive. It's hard to trust a company that does this kind of thing, right? The price of the car is not 29,490. It is 42,990. And they're including the federal tax credit, which may be different depending on your particular situation, right? It's going to depend on person to person. Every state's going to be a little bit different, right? I know there's the federal, but I'm saying states will have different things on this. Also, too, your estimated gas savings. That's going to be different depending on how much you drive. It's going to be different depending on what gas prices are in your neck of the woods, etc. Right? It's going to be different on your electricity prices, right? Where you charge your dang car. So all this kind of stuff, I just find it highly deceptive to be putting 29,490 on the top of your page when the real price is actually 42,990. Also, too, this excludes taxes and fees. You throw your taxes, you throw your fees in, you got your insurance. Teslas are really expensive to insure. You're probably looking at actually double this price, to be perfectly frank. And again, I find this whole thing highly deceptive. But he is successful at it. People are really good at fooling other people, and some people aren't so good at B, right? They get fooled. They're not good at not being fooled. I want to keep going further, though, because I want to go beyond just talking about Mr. Musk in this example. And again, I think it's a perfect example of today's world. Here's another example. One of the Musk Fangirls, her name is Eva. She's a real estate agent. She's tweeting out everyone, hey, I bought more Tesla. I bought 500 shares. And I look at this thing, and just to be honest, guys, I have no idea if this is real or not. These kind of people, I wouldn't be shocked if she faked out stuff. I would not be shocked. It's just that kind of person. She tweets out Musk stuff all day, every day. And now that, she bought the shares at 153, they're at 140 right now or something like that. She's already down her money. And literally, it's Musk stuff all day, every day, right? So I'm sure she's starting to be sweating it out too, right? Oh, look at Kanye's got one. Oh yeah, Kanye's so awesome. So don't trust necessarily everything you see on the internet. Check it out for yourself. Here's another example, guys. I got a comment on my Boston Dynamics video. This person tweets out or comments on my video. The name is Frank. He says, Boston Dynamics does not have the manufacturing capability of Tesla. Not even close. Even if they are first to market, Tesla will dominate. And I asked, in a comment, I'm just curious, where did you get the manufacturing capability thing? The reason why I asked that is because I noticed a lot of the Tesla fanboys and fangirls were mentioning that Boston Dynamics, just can't manufacture robots. And that's pretty much the only argument they have. And it was really quite interesting that they were saying that. And my guess is there's some sort of social media influencer out there. It could be Mr. Musk is saying it. Could be a Farzai dude. Who knows? Someone's saying it. Because I looked up the Frank dude. This is the guy. This is his profile. Frank. It's Frank JF Jr. And this is him, Frank Fodera. And it's got the same username, right? This is his YouTube profile. This is the Facebook profile matching the same username. So I'm pretty sure it's him, Frank Fodera. And, Frank, he's probably a nice guy. I got no problem with Frank. He's a LA elite training and health coach. I like going to the gym. I like people who box. No problem with that. But the problem, though, is I would posit here is that I wouldn't necessarily take Frank's word on the capability of Boston Dynamics, manufacturing capability. I don't know if Frank really knows. He probably is just following whatever Elon Musk says. And I pose this to you guys is like the reason why we talk about these things all the time on the channel. I try to show you as much information and educate you as much as possible. Education is understanding how to read everything, how to look at everything, and how to essentially better yourself through knowledge, not just listening to what one Elon Musk says is true and not checking anything up and just accepting his word as truth and not having him present any particular facts. This kind of stuff is just so deceiving, right? But this is much of the world these days. It's about flashy, clickbaity, deceiving you to make you feel good. But this kind of stuff will not make your pocketbook feel good. So I want to give you an example. He was mentioning the Boston Dynamics things, I'll address in a moment here. But when I tune into the fanboys and fangirls that act like Tesla's the only car company in the whole world and the only one who's going to do taxis or whatever. and I just want to show you guys this stuff. Just for education. That's it. This Waymo company is a legit company. They're backed by Google is my understanding of this stuff. I have not driven in a Waymo. I'm just telling you the truth. I haven't driven one, but I know there's some people in the community that say, hey, I use the Waymo. I have a subscription in San Francisco. There are other places they offer this thing. Could this be the future? Maybe. Who knows, right? I still think we're a long ways away. But the point being, though, is like Waymo's doing it now. They're charging people money. My understanding is they're level 4. Tesla's level 2. So Waymo's already ahead. And they're right there. They're real. Also, too, there's a video I really encourage you to see. This is called Ioniq 5 Robotaxi. Hyundai passes the driver's license test. And it was interesting because, what are the use case scenarios of why you'd want these things, going to the airport and back. That might be pretty useful. I can see that for some places. This was actually, to be perfectly honest, this was a really heartfelt video they did a video about. And I don't know exactly where these people live. Or actually, this is in Vegas. I take that back. But the woman in the video, she's blind. She has a seeing impairment. And so the robotaxi of her, let's say, for example, if she owned one or something like that. I mean, you could just call it Uber as well, but, let's just hear me out. Let's say the robotaxi ends up being really good. But they had it take a DMV driver's test, right? That's your DMV right there. And it's actually really fascinating. They had her in the car here. Filmed. I thought this is a brilliant commercial, really. And they're talking about how smooth the thing runs, etc. And then you get to the end, and I just want to show you guys this. And the robo taxi for Ioniq 5 gets the driver's license. Like, there it is right there. It's like, what? That's pretty cool. So, and again, I think Ioniq 5 is level 4. Both Waymo and Ioniq are level 4 according to these things here. So I'm showing you guys this stuff just to educate you, right? It's not like, hey, you have to love Hyundai. Hey, you have to love Google. It's just like, hey, there's other stuff in the world. And also too, like when people say like, oh, Chris, you just hate technology innovation. You just hate not stuff all the time. It's like, this is not true. What I don't like is deceptive things. And, one thing that I like to do too is when I show you guys this stuff, this is Boston Dynamics and their new robot. It's funky, right? I showed this video to my wife this morning because she hadn't seen it before. And her immediate reaction was like, what the heck is that? Like it really catches your eye. And sort of, what I like to do with you in the community is have a discussion about these things of like, hey, how far along do you think they are? I'm looking at it, looks like they're pretty far along to me. That thing looks pretty impressive, and have a real discussion about these things. The problem is the world that we live in today, for the average person, I think they want to be fooled. It's sad, right? So the average person's like, oh yes, the car costs $29,000 because my leader and my God told me so. And it's like, when you try to tell these people, they're deceiving you. Like, this is a deception, right? This stuff's deception. It's frustrating, you know? Let me give you another example, guys. Here's an example of what we're talking about. NIO. Okay, NIO's a fun one because I want to show you guys, when I show you guys numbers and stuff, I don't just make random stuff up. I show you this stuff because I want you to do well in the market. I want us to help each other. I want us to have a good community. So I can see that NIO stock is down 93%, almost 94. So basically, I mean, I don't know if it's going to go to zero, but it's going there pretty quickly. As you guys can see here in the last year, it's down quite a bit. And I just want you to look at numbers. That's it. And people get upset when I show people numbers for some reason. I don't know why. But I don't want you to get upset. So if you look at the numbers here, what would be, and I'm just using an example of just how to understand the world and just accept reality. What would be the positives of something like a NIO? Well, revenue is going up. So you can see 7 billion in revenue, 16 billion in revenue. This is by year. 36 billion in revenue, 49 billion in revenue, and then you got 55 billion in revenue. And so, okay, I can see that. I can totally see it, right? But the same way that, you know, you want to, like, hey, this is not actually the price, read everything. This is what I encourage you to do, and this is sort of what I do in my channel all the time. And I know for many people, I had a conversation with a viewer a couple days ago, and they told me, they said, Chris, you know, I work 12 hours a day. I don't necessarily have time to, you know, read all the news, read all the financials, you know, read everything, all that stuff. And I'm really thankful I can tune your channel, and then, you know, you go through everything for me. and you know, I do it while they eat dinner, which I totally get that, because I watch YouTube too when I eat dinner, right? Sometimes you just want to, you know, sit down and watch a couple of videos while I eat dinner, and etc. It's fun. And this is something I want you to be thinking about too, is that if someone only talks about the blue lines here, you would think that NIO's doing awesome, right? Because the blue lines are all going up. Everything's going great. You're going, you know, 7 billion is revenue, 16 billion, 36 billion, 49 billion, 55 billion. And then if you look at the stock, you're like, oh my God, why am I losing all my money? And I turn to the NIO channels. I say, guys, revenue is going up. You know, the market's all rigged, and you know, don't trust anyone. And the mainstream media, they all hate NIO and stuff like that. However, what I try to do, guys, is like, hey, how about we look at all the numbers? Okay. You can look at the blue numbers. That's great. Makes you feel happy, but I think you should look at all the numbers. Here's the yellow numbers. This is your net income, how much money you're actually making. So 2019 NIO, you lost $11 billion. 2020, you lost negative 5.61. 2021, your net income is down negative 10.5, 7 billion. And now you're in 2022, you're down, nearly 15 billion. And now in 2023, your net income is negative nearly 21, almost, not almost, but 21 billion. You guys were saying is that you're going down. And this is what I'm getting at. And I hope you guys understand the point of this is get used to reading it, everything, even if you don't like it. Read it anyway, because that is the truth, right? And yes, you can live in the blue world of only revenues, right? But you got to take in expenses and income and these kind of things like that. And so I'll leave this with you guys again, just to think about how to be successful. Well, it's true. You can totally be successful by fooling people. That's what this guy does every single day. It's a perfect example of it. And he's also too got a legions of disciples that will say, "Oh, Chris, you're just a hater. You're just a hater. It's 29,490. You just a hater, right?" And I don't know what to say, right? All I can do is tell you the truth on these things, because I believe in get good at not being fooled. So I hope this is helpful and useful for you. Love to hear your thoughts on this, and I'll catch you next video.